All right, this should be a good one. I got Dave Frey from Sidewalk Prophets. Something I was thinking about with Sidewalk Prophets is I feel like I've grown up with these guys. When they started, they were college folks. I mean, I was a college man when I was starting PraiseCharts, and yet over the last 20 years, PraiseCharts has evolved and Sidewalk Prophets has also evolved. Now I'm turning 55 in a couple of months. I cannot believe it. I dare not ask Dave Frey how old he is, but I might ask him since we're both guys. We can do that. If you want to find out, you better stick around. This is Ryan Dahl and Sidewalk Prophets. Dave Frey. Here we go. All right, now I have to ask, how old were you when you started, and what are you now? So I'm just coming out with it.
Well, I met Ben, our manager now, but we started the band together in 2001.
Yep.
October 2001. So 24 years ago. So I was 19 back then. So I'm 42. And feels a little different from 24. That's when we were in those church van days, going all over the country.
Can you imagine?
42, man. 2 kiddos, beautiful wife, living the dream. So
living the dream. Okay, I gotta say, 2001 might have been the worst year of my life, and I won't go into the story of that. But 2025, best year of my life. So that's awesome, how long it takes.
It does. It sometimes takes that long. A lot of times people's worst years end up being my best. In 2001, met my buddy Ben, of course, September 11th. All these things happened. And 2020, my son was born. Nothing happened in 2020 that was bad.
No, I know, exactly.
For me, I got to be at home with my son for the whole year. So, you find the silver lining in the world's disasters, I suppose. But all that being said, man, it's a testimony that God can take things and turn them right upside down. So
it's crazy about
this is your year, Ryan. This is your year.
Thank you. Just thinking about 2020 because COVID pretty much decimated music publishing industry on so many levels, of which I'm sure you were a part of as well. But I tell you, looking back on it now, it was like a launching pad that launched this rocket, and we needed to kind of reinvent ourselves, as so many of us have done. And I think that's what we do with trial, right? Is you experience trial, and then some people die in trial, and some people are like, I got to dig deep and reinvent.
Refined by the fire. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just riffing on that a bit, if I would ask you, take me to one quick season in your life where you feel like that was the refiner's fire in my life, looking on 20 years. And only one. I know you got 27 that you're thinking of, but which one?
I think the one that always comes to mind is my parents' divorce when I was young. To this day, I still struggle with it. But at the same time, after I went through that, I was, kind of just felt like lost in a lot of ways, like the world had fallen out from underneath me. And I remember going to school, just kind of going through the motions, just almost cathartic, just getting in there and just being back into a routine. And then this girl walked up to my locker and she said, "Why are you here? Like, your parents, I heard what happened." And I said, "I don't know." And she said, "What is it that you have that I don't?" She goes, "My parents divorced and I couldn't come out of my room for like a month." And
wow.
And so I was able to say, I think I know what it is. I think it's that I have this faith still that God, is still here. And it broke me out of a cocoon. Like, I was so shy and didn't sing in front of anyone. I didn't know it was a gift. And people overheard me singing, and people pulled me into garage bands, and I ended up cultivating this talent and this love for music in the midst. My mom bought me a guitar that same Christmas that my parents divorced, and it was like, that was God's plan. It wasn't a coincidence. And so all those things kind of came together to refine my soul, to pull me through that hard time, so that I might come out the other side ready for what was next.
So awesome. Hey, I've been looking at some of the music you're just putting out. I mean, this new album, it's called Looking Up. Is that right? Let's just look at it together here. We've been following you the entire journey of PraiseCharts. we've been tracking with you. We got like so much music. I bet you if I scan through this, it's like a little memory album of you going, oh yeah, I
Sure.
remember that one and that one. But this is basically where we are looking up. I feel like there is some depth to this. I was just even watching the video of, I think it was Looking Up, and I
Yeah.
thought, man, this is a story of some grit. Tell me a little bit about that before we get to Father Let It Be, which I know is really like shining right now. But tell me a little bit about that one. I just was watching the video and thought, this is a guy that's wrestling through some stuff. So
Yeah,
help
I
me.
think that what I do love about this record is from the first song to the last, like it's a journey of life. It's the lowest
Mm-hmm.
of lows, it's the highest of highs. There's songs on there that are Motown that make you dance, but there's songs on there that kind of are a salve in a time of trouble, and I think Looking Up is one of those. We got to
Mm-hmm.
sing it with our friend Megan Danielle. That helps, man. She's incredible. Uh,
Yes.
but but as far as the song goes, man, I think that we started thinking about the rungs of life, the ladders of life, and that in a moment things can be. I mean, everything can change. We talked about all
Yeah.
these trials that
Yeah.
shown us that. And what are you going to do when you're at your lowest of lows? We don't know a lot of times until we're there. But I've been grateful that even at my lowest of lows, and I truly believe, again, that it wasn't a coincidence that God showed up every time through friends, but also through songs on the radio, through things that just so happened to be there
Yeah.
when I was completely wallowing and worried that he gave me an outlet to be able to look back up, to keep pressing forward.
Yeah.
I think of my granddad grew up in the Depression and the stories of what he did to help. He was a kid in the Depression, but he got a job being a dishwasher, and think of but at the same time, he was human as well. And so
Mm-hmm.
this is not a song about one person overcoming the world on their own. It's
Mm-hmm.
about a song of one person maybe trying to do that, Superman, if you will, being driven down into the ground. And
Mm-hmm.
the only reason you can look up is because of this faith that God is there right next to you, that He's
Yeah.
holding you even in these times of trouble and trial.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Looks amazing. I do want to talk about Father Let It Be as well. I got a bit of a funny story about this, and so I hope you don't mind. So last
Oh,
week I took my staff to our annual, kind of leadership retreat. 5 of us got together in a hotel room for 3 days, and we're talking all about praise charts. And anyways, one of the things that came out, this was like a task for me because we were talking about finding mistakes in praise charts and fixing them, and this is kind of like a thing that we just love precision. So it's a wrong
sure.
chord, we go fix it. It's a wrong this,
Right.
and the team decided, okay, Ryan, you need to find a way to tell people about when we find mistakes, then we need to fix them. So funny enough, with this song, Father Let It Be, I
Mm.
thought the song was called Feather Let It Be.
Feather.
Feather, and
Very-
you would wonder why. I don't know if you even know this, but I found out why we thought that is, there you go. This is CCM
Oh, there you go.
Magazine. Sidewalk Prophets releases Feather Let It Be.
Oh my
So
goodness.
we fixed it.
I appreciate that.
But
Yeah,
at the beginning, I was like, I can't find this song, Feather Let It Be. And I just don't get it. Like, why is he
What is the
singing
metaphor
about
of the feather?
feathers?
But you know what's hilarious is our buddy Ben Fuller.
Yeah.
He is awesome. I don't know if you have spoken to him recently. He finds feathers all over the country. Like when
Oh,
he shows up, sometimes he'll find a feather, and he likens it to God showing him that he's still in the shadow of his wing. And I thought,
okay.
dude, that's brilliant. You
There.
should have maybe called it Feather Let It Be. But no, that is not Father
Okay.
Let It Be. Is the
Okay.
correct. And I think with that song in particular, man, that's just a song about letting it be, man. From the Beatles, we were big Beatles fans, but at the same time, the
Yeah.
idea that we can relinquish control, like you're talking about, finding issues in praise charts. I know it has to be so frustrating. I know it's
Yeah.
frustrating when you release a
Yeah.
song and somebody titles it the wrong thing, and you're like, ah. But at the same time, there is grace. There is a period of like, man, it's okay. Let's go fix it. But at the same time, it's out of my control that happened. Like I messed up. And I think that, man, it is so hard the older I get, to be okay with not being in control,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
I guess that's been a truth of life, but this idea that we are absolutely out of control. You know, as a parent, you show your kids you know what you're doing, and then a lot of times when you're by yourself, you're like, I don't know what I was doing there. And so I think that song is just a testament to that it's like, man, Father, let it be. Jesus, tell me stories of the times you felt like me. I think that to me that was the linchpin line of like, Jesus was human too, man. And he had to feel like us and yet somehow in his perfection overcome it in such a beautiful way. But man, he had to, like, I wonder what happened when Jesus stubbed his toe. You know, these small things, like these things that Satan can absolutely use to turn your whole day on its side. But that idea that, man, I want to hear those stories, and he's written a lot of them down in the Word, and then Spirit, you know, Father, Jesus, Spirit, come and comfort me. But that idea. So
I feel like this all just wraps up a little of where this conversation has gone with you. I mean, here we were talking about our age, and then the years that have passed, and then, you know, the refining fire. And I just feel like, even as worship leaders, I want to encourage us to don't get on stage and tell about your perfect life, because suddenly the barriers just start going up. And even in my small way of talking about Feather Let It Be, and then my team literally said to me, Ryan, it's your task this week to find a way to talk about the mistakes that PraiseCharts comes across, and just our desire to always like fix them. So small or big. And it seems like your life conveys this as well. It's the story of our lives, right? So let's talk about it. We could laugh about it. Maybe we cry about it. But it's fascinating how you and me, I told you in one of my worst years of my life was 2001. And you talk about how far you've come in 25 years, and even from COVID to now, that life is a long journey, and just got to stay the course, right? And not give up. So I think you're giving us songs to sing that story, so we're appreciative of you for that. So
appreciate it. I feel like if you only talk about the good times, then you're missing out on a lot. I think it's so important to have those, you know, songs. Like there's a song called First Love that'll be, you know, when the record comes out, that's literally just a Motown jam, and about, you know, getting deeper in love and with Jesus and all these things. But at the same time, like, there's definitely moments for that when you just got to dance. My daughter has a 1-year-old. There's moments where she just got to dance, man. And but there's also definitely those days of life that will level us if we're not careful, and keep us down, and through depression, anxiety, fear. I mean, I've struggled with all those things, but through it all, I'm grateful for a God that keeps knocking on that door, that keeps pushing me out of my comfortability. I love comfort, man. Like we get to ride on a tour bus, but we spent 12 years in a church van, and our tour bus broke this fall, and we ended up back in a church van for 2 weeks. 42 years old in a church van. Come on now, that was insane. But it also made me realize why we do it, because we used to love getting out there and doing it, and playing in front of people we'd never met before, in tiny churches, big theaters, wherever it was, and it just gave me a new gratefulness, to keep looking up and to keep pressing forward through it all, in the middle of a bumpy church van driving through New York City. Man, I love New York, but if I never end up in New York traffic again, it'll be too soon. But.
Yeah, totally. Well, Dave, this has been so fun and encouraging. I had no idea where this conversation was going to go 15 minutes ago, but I feel like I got a new friend now. So I am so grateful for you. Good conversation. And this album is going to be rolling out over the next couple of weeks. You know, look for the singles. We've certainly already got 5 songs here on PraiseCharts, and certainly Father Let It Be has been at the top of the charts of that. So more are coming. I look forward to hearing that funky one that your 1-year-old is dancing to. So that's going to be a good one. All right. Find all the music here at PraiseCharts. Thank you, Dave. This is a good time. Talk to you later.
Thanks, Rob. Take care.